Welcome to Pat's Cast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. I'm Matt,
I'm Chris.
and this is our summer special episode? Do you want to call it?
The off-season special.
Off season. It's July 3rd, 2018. We're gonna get into this. We some of the most recent things that happened with the Pats. Probably the biggest news. I feel like we talked about this already, but coaching change.
Yeah,
It seems. I swear we talked about this exact thing a while ago, but I guess it wasn't official yet.
I guess it's official now.
Yeah.
I think there's rumors out there for at least a year. I think.
Yeah.
So,
It's no surprise to us. It seems like everyone's calling it the worst kept secret in the organization. How do you feel about it?
I think it's all right. It sounds like there isn't going to be much of a transition in coaching style. Sounds like Struch was, I wouldn't say running the team per se, but
Mhm.
it sounded like he had a lot of input. In his interview, he said there was a lot of change over to his coaching style when he took over in Saskatoon. So, there's quite a bit of difference there. He had to implement his own stuff, and here it sounded like him and Paddock were kind of on the same page, kind of doing the same thing together, and so there isn't going to be much transition-wise that way. And he said it's going to be a lot better with the stable management group
Mhm.
here. So, because he said it was a first-year owner in Saskatoon when he took over, and then and then that didn't go so well, and he got
Right.
fired after the first year, which isn't going to happen here.
No, they're going to give him the reins, I think, for a while, and they probably have it sounds like they're all on the same page.
Yeah, and he's
From
going to have
top
a
to
leash
bottom.
too.
Yeah.
We all know it's going to be a rough few years coming up. So, and Paddock's still there,
Yeah,
upstairs and stuff. So, he's going to have his input on the team.
And I mean, from no idea of what the locker room is like. This is just totally anecdotal, my own maybe observation from the stands looking down. Maybe it's a good change. Paddock never seemed to really have that. He's a bit older. I don't know if the guy can yell. Did you ever hear him yell?
Wow, you couldn't hear him over Struch
Right.
every time, but
I don't know. Maybe it'll be a good change. And I'm not, one of those guys that said, "Oh, you got to beat these kids and yell at them and whatever." But I don't know. One of the things that I noticed at the beginning of the season was without Steele, even with Steele, I don't know about. I didn't see the leadership that we had in 15, 16 with Brooks that level, and I don't know if Paddock brought out that leadership that through Steele or whoever should have been our leader last year. That's just the way I felt. When things were rough, it was rough.
yeah, definitely. It was real bad there for a while. So
I don't know. So I think it's a good change. Struch, he's going to have his work cut out for him, but I think he knows he's going to have a few years. It's kind of almost like the Mike Babcock deal in Toronto. It's going to be a few rough years, but there is a game plan, at least I feel. And then Paddock, I think Paddock's a really good GM, and he'll be good at that, and
Yeah.
he can focus on that, and Struch can do the coaching.
yeah, for sure. And then I don't know. It didn't sound like they really had plans for a third coach at the press conference.
Oh, okay.
But you never know what'll happen here in the next couple
Well, I
months.
mean, you had those guys. The one that sticks out in my mind, I went to school with him, was Gordon Pritchard, assistant to the GM. It sounds like The Office, assistant to the GM.
Yeah.
And I was wondering maybe someone at that, maybe not him, but someone with one of those titles, maybe moving up or something like that, right?
Yeah, I threw it out the name Heward, since he was in Swift Current and they've turned over. I said,
Mhm.
well, maybe
Mhm.
he'll come back to Regina, and but he might be looking for a head coach position. You never know. So
Good. So change to the coaching, change to some of our players. The import draft, we pick up 2 Russians, but playing in the U.S., which I
Yeah.
think is a smart move. I don't know how it's got to be tough to get these if you're drafting some guy from Russia or Finland or Belarus for all. Did you see that? Belarus was the
Yeah.
leading
Oh, was it?
country for the CHL.
Oh, really? I did not see that.
Bizarre. I don't know. They must be working on their junior program or really invited scouts. I don't know, but it was.
Well, I know Sweden, they guys don't tend to leave Sweden, even though there's good hockey players there. I don't think teams pick Swedes as much because they want to stay home by the sounds of it. So
Yeah.
that would be a good market to tap, but it doesn't sound like it's too conducive to them coming over. So
Yeah.
and
So
then,
getting guys
and then Russia
over.
seems to be, well, you never know
Yeah.
who, unless you know unless or you have contact with these players, but it's and they say it's mostly second, third hand thing.
The better guys are
knowledge.
staying there.
No, it's like when you ask about these players, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
second, third hand, like
Yeah.
notes and
Yeah.
insights. So
Lost in translation, maybe.
yeah, and so I don't, you never know what you're gonna get, right? So
Yeah.
we picked up a couple guys out of Colorado, so
Right. And we know what we're getting because
Rhett Gordon, expat player, he's the connection in Colorado. So
right.
he's the one bringing in, like, who was the other guy? We just traded Lochner, and then Ty Similak, who may or may not come, but he's the guy down in Colorado. So that's a name from the past there, Rhett Gordon.
Yeah.
Expat star back in the 90s.
Yeah. And that's kind of interesting. The organization keeps some of those key players and rewards some of those guys that were players for us, and they stay in the organization. Like Cylinder too. Doesn't he have a connection to doing something?
No, not right now. I know, we have drafted one of his sons, but
Okay.
not that I know of. I'm not too sure. So
Regardless, so you have some information on these guys?
yeah, I don't know. I just looked up on Elite Prospects. They seem to have the best stats and information on most things. They're both 6'1", both 190 plus pounds. So you got some size. So young guys with size already. That's nice. Yeah, the defenseman, nothing flashy. He only played 11 games this year, 3 goals. Last year he played 21 games and he had 11 goals. The forward, he had only 13 games played, and then he had 8 goals. So, I don't know. It's the midget league in Colorado, so I don't know.
How old are they?
They're both 17.
Okay. So they can play. So it's a little different than your Bantam draft. Here you're drafting players
Yeah.
that theoretically can play at least.
Yeah, and I was kind of wondering what direction would they go. Would they get guys that are 17-ish and build them with the team, or would they go for 19s, like the way we did this year with Oxen and, a guy, a high-end, better skill, more more progressed in his skill, and you can help the team out. And I thought maybe they'd go that way just to plug a couple holes, but, there's nothing wrong with this. So,
No.
and I think the forward, he played, as a 15-year-old, he played under 18 even in Russia. He's only been over here 1 year. But he, as a 15-year-old, he played his under 16 league, and then he even moved up to under 17 and 18 for a few games. So, so he's got a little bit of skill.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Speaking of last year's draft, now correct me if I'm wrong. Is not Zamula out there? I heard Calgary.
Yeah, Calgary picked him up and they kept him.
Do they keep?
Yeah.
But didn't I hear they had another import, and he was available or no? Is that
I'm not
right?
too sure.
Oh, okay.
But they're keeping him.
Okay.
So.
Too bad.
Yeah, that would have been nice to somehow get him back, but it is what it is. We probably shouldn't have picked him if we were just gonna, for our situation, we probably could have used an older guy like Oxen and what they did with him, because he turned out to be a good pick, I thought.
Yeah.
So
His production dropped off.
yeah, it did. Yeah, near the end there.
Yeah. I was really high on him at the start of the season.
Well, he did have that injury and he was out for a while there.
Yeah.
Around Christmas
Yeah,
time.
he just never seemed to.
Yeah.
Once we made the trades, he kind of.
Well, we had so much depth then,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he was serviceable.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so both you and I picked up season tickets again this year. Same
Yeah.
price,
Yeah,
less games.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think it would go up, and I wouldn't think it would
Yeah,
go
no,
down.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? It's
Now the
same-
perks are back, like we said. So
yeah. So what is it? 4 bring a friends or how many? is
something
it?
like that. I can't
4
remember
per seat.
exactly.
So we got 3 seats again. So that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting a price drop.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're still reasonable. There were posts I saw of other tickets, a lot more than we're paying. So.
Yeah. We're one of the cheapest in the whole country.
Right.
For sure.
Okay.
So I think even at that 300 price point 2 years ago, we might have been the cheapest ticket in the whole CHL.
Yeah. I mean, we sit in the cheap seats.
Yeah. I like
But they're
them,
good. I like them. They're fine.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it is to move up, but I'm happy with them. Schedule release. Big news. So we're down to 68 games from the 72. I've had a chance to look at it. I like it personally. It's not too many of the 3-3.
Yeah, I think there's
which
only
is
3 of them. So
tough on teams. Starting at home, away. We start away at PA on the September 21st. What I really like, and they do it right off the bat, is all the home and homes.
yeah,
I don't know if you noticed that, but
yeah,
lots of
start the
home and
season,
homes with
end the season
Yeah, and
at the Christmas break too. I think they do Brandon right after the Christmas break,
Mhm.
home and home. So
got your standard Eggerbition break there was it mid-November. So yeah, we play November 10th, and then they go Kootenay, Vancouver, Victoria, Kamloops, Kelowna, PG. Man, PG is always out there. Such a hard.
the trip seems a little better than 2 years ago because they went Edmonton, PG, or no, they went Edmonton down to like Kamloops or Kelowna, and then back up to PG, and then back down again. I was like, oh my god, it was just. I thought it was the dumbest route that they could. So this one, at least it's a little more. It seems a little more reasonable.
Yeah. And I don't know if I just didn't notice it last year compared to this year. We play Red Deer a lot this year.
Well,
Do they shift with the team, or is it always the same every year?
Yeah, it's always 4, 2 home, 2 away with the other division in your conference.
Maybe I was just writing it, and I just seemed like I'm writing Red Deer a lot, but I'll trust you on that one. Yeah, the Friday, Saturdays with Moose Jaw, going back to some of the, I don't know, the 90s when I'd go and it'd be...
Yeah, and then we went out to the Crush Can.
Yeah, so that'll be fun, actually. We should try and get out and do some of those.
Both teams will be bad, so it'll be an even game.
Fun, get some easy-to-get tickets at least. No other events at the Brand Center, it looks like, which is nice. Just the Eggerbition.
No other extended breaks we had this year.
Yeah, a little stint in February, but I think that's a normal Alberta road trip. Yeah. And then wrap the season up. The home and home on Brandon again, which is good. Back to...
Yeah, we usually start around the season with them since we're the closest team to them. So
yeah, so we get to see Everett, Spokane this year.
All the American teams.
Yeah, right. Seattle. We don't have to go there, so that's good. I don't know. All in all, it's not really too rough. I personally like the Sunday games. Having a little guy, I always like those Sunday games. And when you go to them, you can see there's tons of families and stuff.
Yeah,
so
you can see the kids are.
I did tweet them and say, "Hey, more Sunday games." They didn't. They didn't listen to me. Not too many Wednesdays, which is good too.
Yeah, a couple Tuesdays. That's it.
Yeah, it seemed like more Tuesdays on the road though. But I don't know. It should be good. Nothing that really sticks out in anything in your...
No, it looks good.
Some other rumblings. Saw the OHL, the Q. Halifax is scheduled. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, they're on the road for like
15 games.
There's something there.
It's 15. I was just like, they're on the road. This is the Memorial Cup host.
Yeah, I think something's going on with the rink or in
Must
the rink.
Be. That is nuts.
Yeah,
15 games on the road.
I think
to
they'll
start
be home,
the season.
But at some point, I don't.
Yeah, no, I mean, but to
sure.
play that many games, like their fans will be, the season's like a third done, and they don't even get to see them.
Yeah,
well, that was wild. I didn't see any rumblings from the WHL. Did you hear any
crazy schedules?
No, I didn't hear any.
No, I didn't see much at all.
No,
so.
no. So I don't not too much drama with that. Unfortunately, no big news there, but
No.
no news is good news sometimes. Another thing that happened: NHL draft came and went. Paddock
Yeah.
looked
Didn't
over.
get picked. Yeah. He got invited to San Jose
Yeah.
Sharks camp.
Yeah,
So at
that's
least he
good.
got an invite.
But I saw there was like 6 goalies or something there, so
Yeah,
That's
they've always got lots.
make it tough. That's tough to make an impression.
Oh.
Hofer went before the Hutterite out of Swift Current.
Yeah, I was surprised he went that
Still.
early. Even David Tendek, probably the most notable draft eligible goalie out of Vancouver. Like he played most of the year in Vancouver, and they were a decent team, and
Yeah.
he had some pretty good stats playing 48 games, and and NHL Central Scouting had him ranked similar to Hofer. They were right beside each other in their rankings, and he got picked quite a ways after Hofer. But I don't know. I'm not a scout, so
I don't know what
they
they're
see
looking
him
for. Right.
in him. Like he played all of 3 games against teams over 500.
Yeah.
So,
So
he just played the bottom feeders every time out.
it's
then-
not even what are they looking for. How did they even see it?
Yeah, that too.
They
Yeah,
had no
exactly.
opportunity to even see it.
So yeah, I don't know, but Tendek got a lot of games against all the teams out west, and
Yeah.
so whatever. It doesn't matter where you get drafted. It's just
That's true.
how you do.
It's
right?
true.
So,
I guess I feel bad for him because I think even if he didn't maybe expect, people started talking about him so much and maybe put it in his head that I saw in the paper Max Paddock maybe expecting a call on draft day. Like they were
Yeah.
building it up, and I feel
Yeah.
bad if he was sitting there and all of a sudden he didn't. So I mean, the media is different than reality. We all know that, but I guess hopefully it works out for him.
yeah, he seems to be a pretty laid back guy. So I don't know if he got too.
That's true.
too
He's still
amped up.
he's still young too,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Still,
Well, he
lots
can
of
get
time.
picked next year, or he can sign a contract with San Jose. You never know. If they
Yeah.
like him,
Yeah.
he could sign right now. So
good. So some other hockey going on. It's kind of old news now, but the Calder Cup. I really kind of enjoyed watching the AHL. It's a funny league because with the minimum a lot of guys are making around that $65,000 mark, but then you can have guys on NHL contracts still.
sent down. Yeah,
Like I was reading Wade Redden, right? Sent down by the Rangers, and this was an older article, whatever, but sent down. He was making gobs of money, right? Because
Yeah.
it's his 3rd or 4th contract, and his option was he could either play in the AHL and get paid that money, or
Buy
or
him
quit,
out.
right?
Yeah.
Or quit. No, the Rangers were willing. They were not going to let him. They weren't going to pay him unless he was playing, whether it's for
I see.
the AHL or
Wherever it is.
Yeah.
If you're playing, they're paying you.
So he's probably on the ice making
Yeah.
God knows
millions.
how much. There's some other guy. So, anyways, Calder Cup, fantastically Brooks get that championship that we couldn't get him, but and he was on the ice a fair bit.
Yeah,
I heard his name a lot.
I didn't watch much at all of it until the final. I caught a bit of the final, and now the final game 7. So
And I don't know if it was on just because the Marlies were in it, because it was on TSN 2.
okay,
So I don't know if I personally haven't really seen a lot of AHL games on
No.
TV, at least the TV we get. I wouldn't mind seeing more.
yeah,
Something about pro sports is so disconnected, and that's what we've said about what we like about the Pats, is that they're right here and we can go see them. But when you start talking about pro sports, like even the NHL, it's so distant, and you get into even more like off topic a little bit, but like the NFL, it's just so far removed from reality and everything like that. So I don't know. The AHL seems just a little more, I don't know, real. Like
yeah.
they're just kids playing. Some of them playing for quite a while, and they kind of know this is it. This is
Yeah, for
is
sure.
their pro.
Yeah.
So it did seem like it meant a lot to the organization, and I'm not a Leafs fan at all, but it's kind of neat to see their development that way.
Yeah,
These
I think
players.
they have the same GM, so he's kind of looking over both teams.
Yeah.
So he looked pretty excited, the young guy. So
And speaking of which, they picked up Bradley.
yeah,
Matt Bradley's
signed with
moving up,
them,
so
and I think
nice
they
to
just
see him.
signed Estefan as well.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I know. That's like
So that's a couple good
kinda neat.
pickups. Yeah.
yeah. As much as I hate the Leafs, I might have to at least root for the
Keep
Marlies.
an eye on them. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was nice to hear Matt Bradley get picked up. Someone else went to the Vegas camp. Who was that?
Well, the Sission's there. I don't
Yeah,
know who
but
else.
someone else. Henry. No,
Henry's
Henry's with Colorado.
Yeah. And
Or is it someone that went to Colorado?
yeah, Robbie Holmes went to Colorado.
That's it. Yeah. Robbie Holmes with.
So
Okay.
that's the only other person that I seen got invited to a camp. So yeah, well, the guys probably checking out Henry. You know, the scouts checking out Henry. They probably
Right.
had an eye for Holmes and said, "Hey, come on out." So
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of talking about next year. What about Pat's little things coming a little bit clearer for next year?
Well, yeah, I heard Puto, he had off-season shoulder surgery. So, and it sounds like they expect him back, you know, a little later into the season. But so it sounds like he's one of the guys that's going to be on this team next year. Because it looks like, you know, we got 320s out of 5 possible guys probably. Platt and Legion up front. Hyman, Fleury, Puto, and Scholler on the back end. If Fleury does come back, and he's still not signed with Montreal as far as I know,
Yeah.
we do have to give up another pick to Kootenay. What that is, I don't know. But
Yeah. There's a conditional pick. Then.
yeah, so
Yeah.
some sort of pick if he comes back. And then so that really comes, because you want Fleury, I'd think. And it comes down to one spot for the last 4 guys. So I don't know who they'd be taking. I'd think it would be probably a forward, but you never know. Maybe.
So you think it's Puto and Fleury?
Yeah, I think are for sure.
Yeah.
And then maybe they want some older D, you know. Just, you know, he'd
Yeah.
probably rather have an older D maybe than forward. I don't know. Because Legion didn't seem to get much ice time down the
Yeah.
stretch.
I'd be
as a
surprised if it was
19-year-old.
him.
Yeah, and then Platt, well, you know, he didn't do much when he's out there. You know,
Yeah.
nothing against him or anything,
No.
but he didn't put up the numbers.
No.
So maybe they bring back a Hyman or a Scholler to stabilize the
Yeah.
back end. You know, there's nothing wrong with having older guys on the back end, especially
No.
with a young team.
No.
So maybe they'll have 3 20-year-old D-man.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, it's July. Training camp starts in August already, I was reading. We're not that far away.
Yeah,
It's going to be like
exactly.
6 weeks.
I wonder if they're going to have a development camp for the young guys, or if they're just going to roll that into training camp, because a lot of teams already had their development camp for the young kids.
That's what I know. I was kind of waiting for news to come out. Oh, Pat's development camp.
I thought maybe
Nothing.
they were just, you know, with all the Memorial Cup stuff, so just let
Yeah.
it slide until later in the year, and just do it
Maybe.
with the training camp. Do it first, and then
Yeah.
have a couple invites to main training camp, and then send the rest of them home, kind of thing. So
So speaking of August, we got this mini tournament that they're doing. So
Yeah.
with the season ticket pack, so you can either take that or preseason games. Is that
I
right?
think there's preseason games and the
Yeah.
tournament.
So you
games.
get to pick.
I think both. Or it's both. Not
Do you get
pick.
both with?
Yeah, I believe
Oh,
so.
okay. That's
I
even better.
I haven't got any of the stuff in the mail.
Oh,
yet.
okay. Okay. So what is it? A 3-game mini
Yeah, I think they
tournament
play
with
3
Swift
games or
and
something.
Saskatoon and
PA, I think.
PA or Moose Jaw?
Yeah, one of the two. I can't
Yeah.
remember exactly.
So then
I
they
know
do
they've
that-
done that the last couple of years, a little mini tournament.
Oh, okay.
Since we have the big facility here,
Yeah.
the teams can come
Yeah.
practice. All of them can come practice, and
And then they roll into preseason.
yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, it's going to come up quick here. Summer's
Yeah,
going to fly
exactly.
by. It already is.
yeah. It's already July, so
What are you doing keeping busy this summer?
just playing some slow pitch and such. So
Getting to Red Sox games?
yeah, that too. And-
I always, man, their season's tough though. It's like 2 months and they just
Yeah.
go balls to the wall.
yeah.
And I always say I'm going to go and summer's just so busy and it's good ball though.
Oh, it is. It's really good. It's a nice. It's the summer sport, right?
Right.
Ball. So
Yeah.
get out there and watch the Red Sox. You know, they're doing well again this year. They always have a good team. That's the thing. So I think they've only been under 500 once in the last maybe
Mhm.
10 years that I've been going. So
It's a good league too. I like
yeah,
it.
you know,
Yeah.
and there's some decent ball players there. The biggest name to come out of this league was Andrelton Simmons, multi Gold Glove winner,
Yeah.
shortstop of the Anaheim Angels. So, you know, there's some good guys. So yeah, it's always a nice night to go and watch the ball game. So
Yeah. Riders here and there, but we're not a rider show. They get enough talk.
yeah, especially we don't even want to talk to him after that last game.
Oh, that was crap.
Ugh, yikes.
But like
The
I
one
said,
game I
it's-
do go to because I'm not even a Rider fan. I pay and go to the game, and it's just
Ugh,
the
that was
worst.
ugly.
The worst football I've seen in forever.
that was
Like,
bad.
You know,
But-
but anyways,
It's that it's local. Like I said, it's here and it's a little more real than the NFL for me. So I like to watch it, and it's just part of culture here almost.
yeah, for sure.
But anything else, Pat's news you want to talk about?
The Pipeline Show.
Okay.
Guy Flaming. He interviewed Kurt Hill, expat player, which is now the Edmonton Oil Kings GM.
Uh-huh.
You know, young guy. He's only 30. So
Really?
yeah. He played here, and then he went to University of Waterloo, and then that was it for his career. And then he was scouting with the Chicago Blackhawks this past year. I don't know how long he's been doing it, but that's what he was doing. And then now he's the GM of the Edmonton
Wow.
Oil Kings.
Good for him.
And then they hired a coach, also an expat. I can't remember his name offhand, but he's
okay.
from back in the day,
Yeah.
before almost our time, so older guy. And then he also had a good interview with Ron Robinson, the commissioner. A good interview there. So if you guys want to check that
Any
out,
highlights from it?
no,
Don't have
yeah.
enough time.
No, it was
Not
a
listen-
good. It was a really good interview.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's worth the listen there. So he's always got a good show. You know, he covers a variety of junior age stuff, college.
Did they? And he
OHL
probably
stuff.
didn't. I mean, it's probably not his subject matter. Did they talk at all about that lawsuit?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They did cover that lawsuit.
Because I did see a little blurb, and to be honest, I couldn't even like, the legal terms. I was like, I don't know what even this
Well,
means.
the big thing is it's down to Ontario and Alberta that are still haven't granted, I guess, the ruling saying these players are not professionals, or they're getting the bypass of
Mhm.
being a player. So, but it's not even just this lawsuit is huge precedence, because if they do that, saying, oh yeah, you got to pay these players minimum wage, that doesn't affect hockey.
Oh,
Just hockey.
it'll do the Red Sox, like
It'll affect every
every-
sport, every travel sport ever.
like every
Baseball, football. It could be the gymnastics. It could be band. It could be the same. All that
it's
is
nuts.
so. So it sounds like it's going, I guess, well for the CHL in their favor. But there was a couple. They had I don't know what not a court case, but they had a hearing kind of thing in Oregon, and two players that played in the WHL, they had poor experiences in the WHL, and they said, oh, this happened and that happened, and they made me play hurt or something to that effect. So the WHL looked into that, and they had an independent investigator into that, and they just released a report, I don't know, within the last couple of weeks, saying that most of those facts or statements that those two players made were, they couldn't find much negligence or, so, and Guy Flaming said he's talked to many players, ex-players, current players, that, the majority, it seems to be the majority, obviously are, in favor of the current model,
Yeah.
not getting paid. You get so many benefits. I seen a number, it was $33,000, the player, not the player's worth, but that's what the cost of per player for a team in the Ontario Hockey League. And it's probably more out here with the travel, right?
Yeah.
So, that's a lot of money. And, so if you got to play the minimum wage, you're not going to get any benefits. You're going to have to pay for your own sticks. You're going to have to pay for your own gear. You're going to have to do all that, right?
Yeah.
So
Nope.
they did cover that, definitely.
Okay.
They covered the travel or the schedule stuff. And
It would
even
end
the
up being
travel issue.
like it'd probably be good for U Sports. But I mean, it's not going to happen. It can't.
Yeah.
It'd be like the American system with, you get a education while you're playing. You get some crappy degree. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, they do push that. You get a scholarship, a year scholarship for
But
every year
after,
you play,
which is
After.
good, which is better, which I think the NCAA should do. Right?
The only
These kids aren't studying while they're off playing Monday night championship games. Give me a break. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know.
give them. How many of them go pro? And especially in football, there's no AHL or anything they can go to.
No. It's
So once they're
NFL or
done
bust.
playing, give them a few years to get their degree and actually. But whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. You know they. You know WHL does push that. The only issue I have with that is you only have like 18 months to use it after you're done playing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you can go try out the AHL or the ECHL or whatever for a year and a bit, and then you got to come back. I'd like to see them extend that, give the kid a chance to play a couple years or
Yeah.
whatever, and then go back and use his scholarship that he's earned. So,
Yeah, that's a good idea. But a lot of guys, I don't know, I shouldn't say a lot because I don't know, but they play the dub and then they go right into CHL. So they're getting, or not CHL,
U Sports.
yeah, they get the WHL money,
Yeah.
plus they get a bit from universities. So they
Okay.
kind of sit
Yeah, like
kind of pretty there.
All their gear's covered too in U Sports. My cousin
Yeah.
plays here in Regina, so he gets all his gear covered. He doesn't have the scholarship because he didn't play dub, but he only played SJ.
Yeah,
But he gets all his gear covered here. So
good. Bit of a tangent there.
yeah, well, that's
That's
a hot
okay.
topic. But it's a good interview. They cover the
Okay.
schedule thing and the travel and the lawsuit and
Right, so that's
few other
TPS, the Pipeline Show,
Show.
right?
yeah,
So you search for TPS or
yeah,
Pipeline Show, and it'll come up.
at TPS guy on Twitter.
Yeah,
Is his handle. He does a really good job. So sounds like he's going to be covering more. He does cover a lot of dub stuff to begin with because he's also the Edmonton Oil Kings color guy as
okay.
well. So
yeah,
and Dub Network's now sponsoring him too, so there's going to be a few more stuff.
right.
on-
That was the big news from Dub Network.
yeah, he's going to be writing some stuff on Dub Network. He's got a pretty good background. He's been doing Pipeline Show for like 15 years, so it's real good. I don't listen to all the stuff. I don't listen to the college stuff too often, but if you're into that, if you want to listen to that, it's there for you. He's got, he gets GMs and all sorts of guys in, some good interviews. So, just did the commissioner. So,
How about Tim Hunter, named head coach of the World Juniors this year?
yeah, that's a good pick. He was an assistant coach for the last couple of years.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
Brent Kissio, Lethbridge coach. So you got an old guy running it, and then you got a younger guy. Kissio, I think he's a pretty good coach.
mm-hmm.
He's going to be the next kind of up and coming name. Hunter is kind of on the downward side of the hill, a la John Paddock. But Kissio, he's going to be a good coach, and he'll be. I don't think it would take too long for him to be in the NHL. I don't think.
Good. And you want to do a shout out to Humboldt Broncos new coach?
Oh yeah, Nathan Oystrick,
Yeah.
old friend of mine.
How do you know him?
We went to school together. We have the same birthday as well.
Mm.
Like actual birthday, not like you and I a year apart, but
Oh, okay.
no. So we went to school, elementary school and everything, and then he took off for his illustrious hockey career, which
Yeah.
wasn't too illustrious, He won a won a Calder Cup in Chicago, and then
Didn't he play pro for?
Yeah, he played like I don't know 70 games or something.
Yeah.
He had one full season or most of a full season with Nashville, I think it was. And now he's coaching. He was doing some coaching in the ECHL, and then he coached a high school in Colorado last year.
Yeah.
And now, that was kind of out of the blue. Like all of a sudden, his name's out there. I was like, wow, good for
Mhm.
him. So
Mhm. No,
yeah.
that's good. That's
it's gonna be
tough
a
role.
gig,
Tough role
gig,
to step
yeah.
into, man. It's
But there's gonna be so much support for them.
yeah.
And
yeah.
the team and coaching staff and stuff. So, but yeah, that's cool to see him back up here. So
Those kids are looking pretty good.
yeah, for the most part,
Yeah. Saw them at were they at the draft or the NHL draft?
yeah.
They look.
Yeah, that's good. Looks like spirits are high. They're getting lots of support. and
Yeah.
stuff,
The Rider game you did go to was Humboldt
there's
Strong.
Some were there, yeah, too. So
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be tough for him, but good for him for taking that on.
yeah, no, that's a huge job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Good. Anything else you want to touch on here?
No, I think that's about it. So
Good. I can't see too much happening between now and August, but if it does, we'll sit here and talk for another half hour, and
yeah,
we'll talk about it and bring
Yeah.
it up. But
hopefully
otherwise,
you guys enjoy it
yeah. Otherwise, probably talk to you guys in August after
after some training camp.
training camp and that mini tournament, and we'll get an idea of what this team looks like next year. All right.
That sounds good. See you guys later.
All right. Thanks. Bye.